That's it. Now it is too late too.
All right.
All right, Gittens.
Yeah. Pleasure
Oh,
meeting
man.
you, sir.
Oh, such a pleasure.
Yeah.
One of the friendliest people. I have pleasure.
It
No.
is such a compliment, sir.
Come on, we were walking
Yeah.
down the street.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you. Everybody loves you.
That's
And people stop and shake hands and nobody cares.
yeah.
Well, stay home and all that important stuff.
Yeah. And then what changed all? You see, Maidstone is a very, very nice community.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are lots of good characters, right? There are people that I haven't met, people that I'm longing to meet,
Yes.
and there are people that I've met and I didn't want to meet.
Okay.
For a little laughter. But by and large, Maidstone is what you make of it, right?
Okay.
And if you as an individual, you are full of life, Maidstone has a lot to offer. If you an introvert, you don't see nothing. But then again, it interacts with people based on the way that your culture as an individual interacts
Yes.
with what is existing, because it has its culture, you have your culture, another person have the culture. How they synchronize is how people interact with each other. So culture and what is existing, the fusion is what makes the community great. What do you think?
There's the bell. Who doesn't know? We have this little bell, and when something is good said, like in a
Yes.
church, amen. So there are some comments. There is Victor,
Okay.
amazing guy from Ireland.
Okay.
Ingus, amazing guy from Germany.
Oh, lovely.
Latvians are all
Lovely.
over the world. Iveta,
Lovely.
yes, good
Lovely.
evening, everybody. And in Latvian, it is lab vakar.
Lab, fab, labak,
Lab
lab,
vakar.
va, kar,
Lab vakar.
lab vakar.
Oh, good. Lab
Good.
vakar.
Lab vakar.
Paldies. Thank you.
Paldies.
Paldies.
Talbies. Yeah. I'm learning to speak the language. Baby steps, but
Baby
I'm
steps.
getting there.
Awesome.
Yes.
Tātad, I'll go a bit in Latvian. Labvakar. Good evening, everybody. We have conversation in English. Tātad mums ir saruna angļu valodā. Viens no pozitīvākajiem cilvēkiem, kādus es esmu vispār saticis, one of the most positive people I have ever met, Gittens.
Gittens to say. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Pleasure to meet you. Always,
Yeah, always a pleasure.
always smiling, always positive.
The thing about it is, you must have a positive. Depend on how you portray yourself as an
Yes.
individual. Whether if you portray yourself to be negative, negative will follow you. If you portray yourself to be positive, positive will follow you, and you create an atmosphere that is comforting for people that are around you, and not one that is going to shy them away from you. So you create an environment that can embrace people as opposed to getting them away from you. So that is and I always keep an old saying that I was taught, well, I learned it the hard way. You never know the hood behind the face of a clown. He smiles all the time.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
He smiles all the time. Yeah. But life has not been too bad for me. I've always strived for what I feel is good, and what I feel is going to elevate myself as an individual, my family, and people that are around me, and mostly the Creator. I believe in the Creator.
In a creator.
Yeah.
So are you Roman Catholic, Lutheran, some other church?
Well,
It doesn't really matter. for me.
Well, in the country that I come from, right? The most prominent.
We are coming close to that.
Okay. Well, I was raised as a Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's worldwide, so
Yes.
you could call it a Catholic. So it's worldwide. Yeah. So that is a religion that I was raised in. My mom raised us from the age of 5. Following, we used to be Roman Catholic.
Yes.
Right, and then my mom brought us onto the Seventh-day Adventist religion, and we have been there. And some of the doctrines and some of the teachers, we're not on the same wavelength. So basically, I'm not disassociating with them, but then I keep to what I believe, and then I practice what I believe. I pray as a very God-fearing, and I always believe that nothing happens by accident. And meeting my friend here is not by accident. It is part of a big picture that I am willing to come forward and join the big picture. He will give us, a little more insight as to the big picture. But for now, we'll just keep it where it starts.
So, for our viewers, I could say we are always doing lives in Latvian language about internet business or different aspects of doing business in the world. In the world or in Latvia, as Latvians are scattered all around the world.
Yeah.
So you come from Saint Lucia, and today we have a son of Saint Lucia.
Thank you.
And your, what is the national anthem? Is Sons and Daughters of Saint Lucia?
Sons and Daughters of Saint Lucia. Yeah. And well, Saint Lucia is located in the Caribbean. It's practically.
I will show it. I will show it. And before that, we have. I can back that. You receive what you give. Yes.
Okay. So it is situated in the Windward Islands. That is the lower, or you could call it the Lesser Antilles, which is closer to South America.
So here is this island.
Yeah.
On Google Maps. And we understand, okay, it is island. And then we start zooming out.
Yeah.
And once we go there, we see this picture. Come on.
I know.
Gittens, how you can leave a place like that? Are you insane?
Leave a place like that to be in Great Britain.
This is one of the official paradises in the world.
I know the Prime Minister, of Great Britain vacations there.
Oh, okay. So then we zoom out, and we see these are Caribbeans. This is Caribbean Sea.
The Caribbean Sea, yeah.
There's Venezuela.
So it's
yes, and oh my God.
So it's a chain of islands.
Yes.
That start from Guyana, right, and it goes up.
There is Barbados.
Barbados to the east of Saint Lucia, southeast of Saint Lucia, and to the north we have it's a colony of France, which is Martinique. Martinique, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Because Saint Lucia used to be a colony of both the France,
yes,
and British.
So
14 times each of them. So they fought for this small island with all its beauty.
Yes.
14 times. So 14 times it was British.
So they fought 28 times.
Basically 28 times.
Oh my!
So
maybe they fought even more.
Maybe they may have fought more. You know,
all the paradise.
And I think they're still fighting though. They're still fighting. because I'm telling you, this country is absolutely lovely, right?
Gittens, if I go to Google Maps and I have opened,
I know.
oh come on, where is my mouse? Gittens, are these views from your island?
They are all from the island.
Gittens, you can't be serious. Look, you must be insane.
Okay.
So
What?
where did you which part of the island did you come from?
The southeastern side.
Southeast. So
Yeah,
so now
yeah,
we
wait,
are east,
go-
south,
Yeah, this.
south and east.
Yeah,
and
where your
east
mic?
side.
Where exactly where your mouse is there? Go down.
up here. Okay.
Yeah, go down a bit.
Spice Bay.
Yeah, in that region here.
In this region.
Yeah, that is my community.
Okay. Can we go with Google Maps?
Yeah, you
Stay
can.
here.
You
Is there-
can
Up here or here?
go
Where?
down. Go
Down?
down. Yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
Street view. Google cars should go there.
It's a beautiful country, right? Now, you might be asking yourself, what brings me to Great Britain?
Yes.
Yeah, and that may be, is you will understand the purpose for me being in this country. What drives the people from Saint Lucia or the populate is the crave for knowledge.
For knowledge.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And education is one of the backbones of the Saint Lucian society.
Okay.
Right. That for you, basically a Saint Lucian who gets to a country and who doesn't aspire for an elevation in terms of his education is not a basic a son of the soil. Most of, if not all, are looking for themselves to be elevated in whichever discipline. Now, for me, I have family here, right?
Yes.
My kids, my kids were raised here.
How many children?
Well, I have 4 kids.
4.
Yeah.
Hey, bingo.
I know. It's a
4
club.
each.
It's a club. It's a club. Also, I have a club. Yeah.
we can
Man United.
just our families can
Yeah.
start a kindergarten.
That is correct. So, the eldest of the 4,
Yes.
is a graduate of Anglia Ruskin University.
Okay.
She did she studied business and law,
Oh,
right? So she's actually working in with a company back somewhere in central London.
yes.
I don't know the exact company, but then she'll give me the details if I And my 3 kids, the other 3 kids, live with myself and my wife, right? And my wife is a registered nurse in Great Britain for the part from 2010.
Okay.
2010,
Yes.
she has been a registered nurse in this country. Because of kids, of course, it's not always practical to be in the field and working, but we are doing the best that we can.
Is she from Saint Lucia as well?
We both are Saint Lucians.
Both Saint Lucians.
Both are Saint Lucians.
So when did you
And
come
we're
here?
from the same community.
From the same place as well?
Same community.
So when did you leave Saint Lucia?
Well, I've been back and forth in this country from 2004.
2004.
2004. But we only wedded 2013, right? Because we were not together not until 2011, and we got wedded 2013. So
Does your wife know where you are now?
Oh yes, she knows I'm in the town center. That's an interesting topic. That's a whole new interview on its own. That's
Your
a
husband is in safe hands. Absolutely.
yes, yeah, and the UK for some time have been a country that I've wanted to come and further my education. I I have been in the police department, yeah,
Okay.
in Saint Lucia from 1996.
So in Saint Lucia,
In
you
Saint
are
Lucia,
actually a policeman.
police officer, yeah,
Police officer.
yeah, police officer. I retired as a constable, yeah,
Why did you retire?
because I want to pursue another line of. Well, I mean, it's the same.
Like
It's
there are some careers for
yeah,
life,
yeah. There are some careers for life,
and
but
police officer seems you
but
just gain
policing
knowledge, experience, and respect.
policing it you can make a career out of it, right? But then it is only one arm of the law. It is a basically the action part of that arm
Okay.
of the law
Yes.
that enforces
Enforcers.
the
Yes.
law.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, but then it does not give you there are still areas of the law that that you as a police officer, if you're not if you're not schooled as to the fine detail, the nuts and bolts
Okay. Yes.
of that discipline, you may not be able to attend to a police related
So
offense.
of course you have to study
So
to become a policeman, to become an officer,
yes, to
or
become an
go
officer.
higher in ranks.
Yeah, so we have our police academy,
Yes.
yeah, and that police academy it trains you with the basic skills that is going to allow you,
Basic skills only.
yeah,
Okay.
the basic
Yes.
skills. But as you
Advance.
in the field,
Yes.
you are being trained on the go with depend on the department you are. So if you're in the department of maybe the criminal investigation department, you may have um, training in investigation. Some you may get forensic, you may do different skills. And if you probably in a special service unit, you may have a different combat training, so it basically it basically gives you the base.
Can I ask you some sensitive questions as well?
Yes, you can.
Or if the questions get too sensitive,
Yeah,
let me know. Yes.
yeah, yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So, how old were you when you went to the police?
I was 23 years old.
23.
23 years old.
And what did you do before?
Prior to that, I was a Crown Lands officer, which I work with the agricultural department
Okay.
in Saint Lucia for about 3 years.
Yes.
And during that time,
So straight after
yeah,
school.
straight after school, I started working with the Forest and Lands Department. I was a Crown Lands officer,
Yes.
responsible for Crown government lands.
Yes.
Yeah, as a understudying officer from the head of the Crown Lands Department in the south of the island, and I was meant to understudy one of the
Another
manager.
lifetime career.
Oh yeah,
Gittens.
oh yeah. So
You're talking about amazing careers. Yes.
so we were basically mapping out government lands,
yes.
demarcating, and we were also acquiring lands on behalf of the government of Saint Lucia. So if you have catchments, areas that are sensitive to the supply of fresh water to the reservoirs,
Yes.
right? government see important to acquire these lands, that are above the water catchment.
Oh.
So these areas we would go demarcate them. I was working alongside a surveyor as well, a very good friend of mine, Peter Felix. One of my fondest memories was working for a surveyor called Peter Felix. If you're listening, Peter Felix, that's my boy. So so basically my job was to run the lines, ensure that you have the other staff to have these lines cleared and well demarcated. So when the surveyor comes in, he runs the lines and put in the pegs and everything. And these lands are being acquired by government, and government would make the necessary handover, to the owners of the lands, in terms of, whether it is a monetary contribution, whether it is other lands, other places that government have lands. So like an exchange, whether it is financial exchange or whether it is some monetary exchange, for the lands. And then after 3 years, there's this wonderful opening to be a police officer.
Yes. Did your wage go up?
Yes, it did, because basically my
proud
better part of my service in the police force has been with close protective services, right? I work with the courts. I used to work with the courts. I've had little transfers here and there, but by and large, most of my service in the police force was with the courts. And with working with the courts, you interact with judges.
What do you mean? Oh, courts.
The courts.
Courts,
the
yes.
high courts.
High courts.
The
yes.
high courts.
I was
The
thinking,
judicial department. The judiciary. And you interact with judges, you interact with lawyers, and of course, people who are defendants and complainants. Yeah. And then my interaction with lawyers and my understanding of law, it propelled me to this country to further my studies in law, because
So you actually came here to study
law. Yeah, because the laws of Saint Lucia were actually drafted, basically a mirror of what is existing in Britain.
Yes.
So there are certain principles.
You don't have to invent the bicycle twice.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
principles that our courts our laws are silent on. We go back to the British law. So because we were a colony of Britain until 1979, when we got our independence. You can look it up. We were a colony of Britain until 1979.
Yes.
We were following British laws, right? And as we got our independence, we still, it's a hard transition from British laws to your own laws, basically. So
can I go a bit back and ask you? So what I know about Saint Lucia, the only country in the world that is named by a woman. Did you know that? Seriously, the only country in the world, Saint Lucia or Syracuse or something.
Well, I know. In Italy, you have Saint Lucia, and you have Saint Lucia.
Yes, Santa Lucia.
Yeah, in Italy.
Yes.
So
No,
I wouldn't say
no, seriously.
but as a country
As
on
a
its
country,
own.
the only country in the world named
Well, I don't know
by a
the
woman. The only.
I don't have the information in front of me. So, but I will your guess is better than mine for sure.
Well, it is a fact.
Yeah. Well, I
And
respect
then
that.
Saint Lucia has become really, really famous
Yes, it is.
after all the British programs over here.
Yeah.
Sun or Away, or Summer Home, or what are the about
Can you come back again?
what are the TV programs showing the British are thinking where should they move to, maybe to Caribbeans, maybe to Australia, or maybe they should go somewhere to Cornwall or somewhere else.
The
And then when they show Saint Lucia, oh my God,
I know.
it is so beautiful. And then they talk of the country, but after they start explaining the prices and communities that actually live there, I always get the impression that please do not get
No.
yes,
I'm fine.
only white people move there. Not only, but mostly. That's a dream place to move before you retire. But you should have enough money for life.
That's correct.
And you go there and you stay there and you bring up your children. They do not work. You just, well, that is my impression. I'm an ordinary guy from former USSR.
Okay.
And the house prices are mental. Not maybe mental, but all those houses they show. And they are expensive compared to Spain, compared to Australia. Again, that is my impression. And then I'm always thinking, what is the minimum wage of a policeman? What is the minimum wage of a hospital nurse? And how can local men grow up as and feel that confidence that they are men?
Okay. You ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
So I'm going to answer them in parts. But I think most of them would stem from a minimum wage. St. Lucia, from what I've experienced
Yes.
in the past, up to date, does not have a minimum wage.
Okay.
We do not have a minimum
You don't have the minimum wage.
We do
Okay.
not have a minimum wage. Not that has been calculated.
Yes.
Depends on the public service. Most of the salaries are being basically they in proportion with the private sector.
Okay. Very good.
So how government pays for somebody who is working in an office would somewhat be on par with what the private sector would pay for somebody working in a company.
Can I ask you how much you were making when you were a police officer?
Well, when we started off, the salary wasn't that great until it was $1,500 EC dollars.
And what is it, 1,500?
Well, if you have to convert that in
Yes.
British pounds, you're looking at anywhere in the region of maybe 400 to 500 pounds.
400 to 500 pounds.
Yeah, that was the starting rate. Now you see, we have had successive
compared to Latvia, I think that is 2010. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the currency rate.
If in 2010,
yeah,
a police officer was making, did you say
no?
400 to 500?
When I started, it was 1996.
Yes, 1996. Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking at about 21 years ago.
Okay.
So you're looking at 1,500 EC dollars. You're looking at you see You see, my
Okay,
um,
doesn't sound bad.
well, the thing about it is, you can live on it,
Yes,
right? And it would do a lot for an individual who
yes,
started off. You don't have a family. Most of the police officers do not come to the police force with already have a family. But as you develop, as you
of course. Yes.
work and you move around in different communities, you have different needs, and then it will lead to families and kids and all that kind of stuff. But then you could survive. Anybody could
Yes.
survive on 1500 DC dollars in 1997.
Can I ask a question for our community? Uzrakstiet lūdzu, cik Latvijā, I'm asking for our community. So for in Latvia, in 96, what was the average wage of a police officer who has just started work? Uzrakstiet lūdzu, cik apmēram 96. gadā, vai kurā gadā jūs zināt, policists saņēma Latvijā, tas, kas sāk strādāt par policistu. Ja jūs zināt, pasakiet lūdzu. Let us see, as I have some numbers in mind, but I'm afraid we have people watching.
Okay.
And maybe somebody can help us with the wages.
What numbers are they giving?
Yeah, yes, we'll see.
All right,
We'll see. Yes.
Okay, so
It doesn't sound bad.
but it's like I said, it's you anybody can survive on it.
It is not
at the time.
surviving. No. If you are making £80 a month, then you are calling it surviving.
Yeah.
£50 a month. Yes, it is surviving and it's still doable.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
£200 survivable.
Okay.
£500.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Most people are homeowners there. Yes.
Well,
Do you live
most
in-
of them.
Yes.
By
So you don't rent.
no, I don't rent. By the time you get to the age of 2021, most persons are already either they're getting ready to leave the parents' houses.
That's it. I'm going to Saint Lucia tomorrow. I
Or
just
or
have
they
to
already-
find a private
they're already
boat to
investing-
avoid all the laws and
Yeah. Or they already invested into property.
yes.
Yes, I mean, because what really builds Saint Lucia is the financial aspect
Yes.
of acquiring property. I mean, the banks are making it very easy for people to invest in property and maybe other little bits that they need to get, right? Whether it is a vehicle or maybe furniture or stuff like that. The banks are very, very understanding,
Yes.
right? And it's not
And the mortgage rates are not high, no?
the mortgage rates are not high. The mortgage rates are in the tune of about,
Go on.
at the moment, because of the
Just the juice.
yeah, at the moment it's just about maybe about 7% per annum.
Okay.
Yeah.
7%. And we actually have a price about, and if you could help us about the police wages, go on. 2000, 2010, please help us. Victor, if you are watching, somebody else, Army or something, come on, help us out. And there is also so I have question about tourism or cheap land to rest. Okay, what is the land price? What's the price of the land?
Well,
The population is 180,000 people.
yeah, well, it used to be 150,000 people for a couple of 10 years ago. At the moment, it's in the region of 170 to 180,000.
Yes.
180,000 people. Not too many people on the island.
There is enough land for everybody.
There's for 248 square miles. 248 square miles.
Gittens,
You have enough land.
I've heard you've got this one. You've got this one resort there, the only resort in the world where they have coconut trees growing inside your room. Like absolutely mental. The rooms are larger than
the rooms are large. You have one of the breathtaking resorts. There's we have the Sandals Resort. Well, Sandals have two. They have two of the resorts down there, and they just acquired. Well, it used to be Hyatt, and now they have made it Sandals Grand. So you have the Sandals that talk, you have the Sandals Grand, and you have the Sandals Halcyon. These are three hotels that Sandals has basically on the island. But there are other
but that is beach part. That's beach side.
All hotels have beaches.
Yes, and those are the beaches. But the beaches are accessible for locals and everything's fine. Yes, or
yes,
are they?
Yes, all beaches are accessible.
When you were as a kid, you could go anywhere you wanted to.
All beaches are accessible by locals. To the north of the island, there was a portion of Sandals Sandals Grand that there was an issue with the locals accessing the beach for a lot of reasons that were not clearly explained. But from my understanding, the reason for them restricting the access of the locals, the hotel itself has things that they have attractions for the client. As you know, they pay to have them here. You understand me? So and they have the attraction for the clients. And we had a situation where most of the locals would come and solicit for them to purchase things on the beach.
Yes.
And it wasn't. Some of them are allowed, but some of them are quite aggressive in terms of the marketing strategy. You understand me?
Marketing strategy. That's good.
It's very aggressive.
Yes.
So it caused some kind of friction.
Yes, we have Victor saying that police were earning less than that. I also think that police were earning much less than that. I think even twice in Latvia, twice less than in Saint Lucia for that time.
Wow.
Police officers actually had to work another shifts. They took another shifts and they were breaking in gambling places.
We had the same.
So after they stop working in police, then they go and work as guards.
We have the same as well. Yes. Most of the police officers, that the ambitious ones.
Yes.
They have the they'll call it moonlighting.
Okay.
Moonlight. Where after the normal shifts, they have companies, probably they will do cash escorts for them.
Yes.
They have security companies that they make it abundantly clear that they want police officers with training, to augment the guards. So it's not something that is indigenous to one, and we don't have it in Saint Lucia.
But I'm saying that in Saint Lucia, you see, you guys are making twice than in Latvia. Already a win for Saint Lucia.
Well, the standard of living is another cause for maybe the moonlighting. It's something that you don't the police force don't encourage, me.
Yes.
But then as you work and you start acquiring property, you have needs, you have commitments, you understand me? And if you cannot meet these commitments, right, there's no hard and fast rule as to what you can and what you cannot do. You understand me? But then it's not encouraged, because some things can conflict with your duties, and by nature, where you get paid more as an individual, you most likely would lend. if you understand what I mean. And it's okay to have that type of mentality as an individual, because businesses thrive like this. But then when you're going to take it a step further than, if you understand what I mean, then it's cause for concern for the police force. So people go the extra mile
Yes.
in the commitments and in the, so it can have that type of effect, So it's hence the reason I'm saying it is not encouraged.
So you see, now we have statistics in 2010 in Latvia. 2010. That's much later.
Yeah.
Average wage was 340 lats. At that time, one lat was almost the same as pound. Almost the same. You could say 350 pounds a month. That's 2010. 10. Latvians moved here at simple. We love our country. Absolutely adore, and we can't live without it.
Yeah.
But
well, with government, with other governments,
350 pounds.
Other
Still at Saint Lucia.
350 pounds. It's not anything. I'm telling you.
even in paradise. No, unacceptable.
Drivers wouldn't make that price. I mean, I'll be real honest with you.
Yes.
And
there are people making less, and that is not the minimum wage.
From my experience, right? Police officers were not as well paid as some of the public servants. You understand?
Police officers should always be paid well. Always.
And that has been a contention for a while. Your conclusion has been a contention for a while because of the
I have friends, police officers, and really they're so cool guys. And
I mean, it is part of your training. You have to contain yourself as an individual.
Yes.
And you have to maintain a friendly atmosphere as an individual, because if you come with a certain level of hostility, you may not get anything from the public. You were taught to get into the public, and we also had a community relations branch, which that branch is a branch that actually goes out in the community and meet the public, and change the public's perception of policing, and not this rigid, regime that is arresting us and putting us in,
Do you need police officers? What are the wages now? We could tell to Latvians, hey, Latvians, you can go for a year work in paradise and make like 2 times, 3 times more.
Saint Lucia does need police.
Doesn't need police.
They do need police. We need police officers. Because I mean, but there are certain communities. It is so nice and calm and sweet, Like if you go to the south of the island, right? Certain places like Choiseul, right, and Soufrière,
Have you got a house there?
Yes, I do. I do have a house. Unfortunately.
How often do you go there?
And we have a family house as well, which is not too far. Unfortunately.
So you have a house and
we have a family house.
And a family house.
Yeah.
What are the differences?
So each of my siblings, they have their own residence.
Okay.
Right? But then we have a family house where we commune. Yeah. So this is where we were raised. Right.
Yes.
So that house at the moment, we only have a sister in there, so she maintains the house, and
that's everybody's house where people come together and
physically and family, our extended family, we commune there, and maybe have a little get together.
How often do you go there?
Well, I've not been there for the past 3 years.
It is expensive.
Yeah, it's not about the expense. You see,
well,
for me,
wife, 4 kids. Come on, Gittens.
No.
You work a lot here as well.
No, yeah.
You study, you work. I always see you working, man.
I love work.
We all do love work.
That has
Low?
Yeah. and I don't I don't shy away from work.
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody love work. They're supposed to, right? And but I'm the kind of person that I don't want to be saying I. You understand me? But people need to sustain their family and themselves as an individual. You have
Yes.
your thing. So you need to you need to find these legal means. You understand me? So and but back home I wasn't any different. I work the hours. I work the hours for the same police pay.
Yes.
I was working with a judge who at the moment he's the chief is one of the Court of Appeal judges in Barbados at the moment. And I've worked with some prestigious people before as judges, you know. Actually the Governor General of Barbados, right? Her name is Sandra Mason, right? She used to be one of the judges that I work with. I've worked with quite a few of the judges from the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, and it's a very good job of work. You know, you respected in the community.
Yes.
You have you basically you develop a connection with the judges. You know, I mean, when I say a connection, I mean like you can interact with them. You could question them on situations, you know, on law, right? So hence my base, you know, for where I am today. You know, I can at the moment I can just pick up my phone and I can message the Governor General in Barbados. It's someone tell you, and she responds. Now I'm saying that not to blow hot air. Yes, I mean, you know, but what I'm saying is um the Saint Lucia, when you talk about salaries, right? Salaries come from a job,
Yes.
right? But I'll be Saint Lucia, you you could you could you could you could consider Saint Lucia as a country with at least I don't have the exact numbers, but a very high percentage of very high population who are entrepreneurs, and they don't rely on a salary. Basically, they are either farmers,
Okay.
right? They, I mean, they Saint Lucia was most of the funds that were coming to Saint Lucia were from the exports, right? Till I mean 11 years ago.
Well, Caribbeans were famous for
Yeah,
pirates and trades and all the good stuff. Yes.
yes, it is.
Yes,
it is.
Caribbean islands. We have to admit it.
Yes,
Caribbean
yeah.
islands accumulated lots of wealth in the pirate times.
It has still been it is still an area for it's like a fortress.
Okay.
You know, it's like a vault, if you know what I mean. I mean,
I know everything about pirates.
You know,
My wife loves them.
you know, a lot of the plantation owners,
Yes.
very wealthy plantation owners who were British nationals, and a lot of the Eastern Europeans and Europeans.
Eastern Europeans as well.
Yeah, there were
Really?
Europeans that own lands in the Caribbean, right? But most of the plantation owners were
British or French,
British or
yes.
French, right? You find if you look at if you look at the old maps of Saint Lucia, right, you'd see the location of some of the plantation houses. Most of them are existing, and some of them were destroyed through. I mean, we have the hurricanes which comes around all the time,
Oh yes.
and most of them are destroyed. Some of them are,
Are you saying you still have plantations?
we still have loads of plantations. We have coffee plantations. We have banana
Okay.
plantations.
How are they operated?
We used to have sugar.
Yes.
We used to have sugar
Yes,
years ago, and because of we had a premier, which was John Compton, and when he became our prime minister, basically introduced bananas. We still have a little bit of the plantation
Okay.
artifacts there, right?
Yes.
But then what is to actually make the
so
so
he
they
actually
replace sugar,
okay,
right?
sugar, yeah, okay.
The sugar plantations with bananas, right? Which at the time was a more lucrative thing, because just next door to us, Barbados stayed with the sugar,
Yes.
right? And they distill, they have wine, they have rum and stuff like that.
Yes.
But Saint Lucia still have a few sugarcane plantations,
Yes.
right, which are very close to the distilleries, because we have a few distilleries. Well, not a few, at this 1 or 2 distilleries, and that is what it is for. Basically, they use the cane sugar and distill it and make
Yes.
fine wine. You have Chairman's Reserve. You have a whole lot of different flavors of alcohol that are created
Okay.
in Saint
Just
Lucia.
plantation itself, the word is negative.
Well,
Farms, yes,
well, you
a
see,
beautiful word, but
you see, plantation has its annotation as a
historical.
it's a historical
Yes,
annotation,
really.
and we 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 don't want to be forgotten. Yes, we don't want society. We don't
You
want
have to know your
society
history, yes.
to forget
Yes.
to forget where Saint Lucia came from. Hence the reason we refer to it as plantation. Do you understand me? If you call it farms now,
Yes.
we were not talking about farms then. At the time when we had sugarcane and stuff like that, there were plantations, and we still want to respect them as plantations, because there are still owners in Britain as we speak, right, that have plantations in Saint Lucia.
Yes.
And the plantation is not the name is not because of the produce, right? It is basically the property that is demarcated, and the reason it is it's like a fortress.
There
It
is
has a lot of history.
There is a question in Latvia. It is not really a question, but they say that in Saint Lucia, many people grow marijuana, or cannabis or something, and there are so many mountains and nobody can find them, and they export to it. Is it true? The island is too small, no, for that. Everybody knows, not everybody.
The Caribbean. Well, maybe the person has more information than me, but,
Okay.
as a police officer,
Yes.
for a number of years in Saint Lucia, I don't have that information.
Yes.
Understand me?
But island is too small. Yes. Everybody knows everybody. No? How big is it?
The island is 248 square miles. It's not very
If you
small.
drive from
It will take you about a day to go around here.
With a car.
With a car. And you're not going, you go into areas that are motorable. The actual round of the island, the borders of the island, most of parts are not motorable because of the landscape. So you have cliffs, you have places that are impassable,
yes,
by even individuals, far less a bicycle or maybe a vehicle with 4 wheels, But I don't want to. the marijuana route. I don't want to go down. Yeah.
Have you seen all the places? Tom says so. Saint Lucia is only 617 square kilometers and square miles. That
Yeah,
would be,
I have
yes,
240
yes.
square miles. Yeah.
But there are there still places you haven't seen?
Well,
And then we already have questions. Yes.
I as a forest and lands officer,
Feel free to ask
I
your
used to-
questions in Latvian as well. I'll translate.
I used to be a forest and lands officer
Yes.
for 3 years.
Okay.
And most of my work and my job was everything that's around the island.
Okay.
Basically, you need to know every single road
So basically, you've
in
seen
the island. So basically, I've seen the island, and I've gone. I would say 90% of the 90% of the trails in Saint Lucia, and it's a very interesting walk through the rainforest. I mean, you see things, you see trees, animals,
Yes.
strange birds, and very sweet sounding birds,
What kind of animals?
rivers.
What kind of animals?
Well, you know when you're in the depth of the forest, you see wild animals. I'm talking about we have the boar, the wild boar.
Wild boar.
Yeah,
Also.
yeah. You have the wild boar.
Yes.
You have goats.
Yes.
You have different types of animals. I mean and of course we have our fur de lance. That's our poisonous snake. We have snakes.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Hate snakes.
Well, we have the
snakes.
boa constrictors as well. So
have you got lots of snakes?
if you look, they have a few. And
Few species.
a few species, and we have indigenous species.
No, stay in your Saint Lucia. I'm not going there.
No. Well, you see, snakes are not animals that, from my experience, they're not animals that would inhabit or the community.
Yes.
Like other countries, like maybe
Yes.
Guyana or some of the other countries that tell you stories where snakes live in houses with people for months. I mean, snakes are very smart animals. Anytime, and most of the pesticides and weedicides that we use in cultivation and,
Yes.
and in weeding around our crops,
Killing them.
it's not really killing them, but it chases them.
Okay.
So they shy away from these areas, and most people use this thing around the premises. So the snakes kind of stay away, and they only react to you if they have been cornered.
Okay.
If you understand what I mean. So if you are a visitor to Saint Lucia and you're concerned about snakes, that is one of the least of your worries. You should not be worried about snakes, unless if you're doing maybe some kind of
snake catching.
No, you maybe you're going on a trail or something.
Yes.
But you would be covered by persons that are experienced.
But in plantations, people don't have problems with snakes.
In plantations, no, but because they're
even when collecting sugar canes.
Well, I mean,
I've seen those pictures. Huge.
Yeah, well, you see, before long ago, we had stories upon stories. I mean, people still get, you place a box with bananas down for a few minutes, and probably some snake was just wandering. It could be tiny. It could live inside of that box for days in some way, and it can travel from country to country if you don't observe that it's inside of a box. But like I said, unless you put yourself in harm's way, you will not get any difficulty with snakes. If you understand what I mean.
And then you said that is the least of your
that's
worries.
the least of
Here's the question: how safe is it? Please ask. Good evening. Please ask. How safe is it to live for a civil person, for an ordinary person in Saint Lucia? What the locals do?
Saint Lucia is a very safe country.
Thank you.
Saint Lucia is a very safe country,
Yes.
right? What I can say on people's safety, right?
Okay, can you read the question? So it looks like Mother has been there.
What's that?
Saint Lucia is a truly paradise on planet Earth. Marvelous place,
Yeah.
hospitable people, exquisite service.
Yeah,
Private bay.
everybody. Anytime you travel, it doesn't matter whether
Yes.
you're a foreigner or you're local. Saint Lucians are very happy to help you. You understand me? Whether
That's
it is with something that you need to do financially, getting you from point A to point B. Saint Lucian won't unless the person is running a bus service,
Yes.
right? A Saint Lucian wouldn't charge you to give them a lift
Yes.
from one community to the other.
Okay.
That will never happen. You know, so then they're not going to ask you for any, unless if the person is running a taxi service or a bus service, then you're expecting some kind of compensation for your service. But other than that, they're very, very hospitable people.
Okay, so safe and good.
Yes.
How do you feel here, bringing up your kids here when they know they could enjoy peace, freedom, joy, ocean,
Okay.
Caribbean Sea? You've got
Let me-
you the Caribbean Sea from one side and ocean from the other side. Yes, is that true?
We started earlier on. We were speaking about my reason for being here.
Yes.
And it's to advance to advance myself in law.
Yes.
Right, and to earn a degree in law, right, and to be a practicing barrister back in my country, and also being a practicing barrister in Britain.
So you plan actually to become a barrister?
A barrister.
Okay.
Both in Britain and in Saint Lucia, where I'm from, right? So, you see, paradise, right, has a price. You basically
That's horrible.
No,
something that is this is something horrible. You said
No.
it is true. But
it comes with a price.
yes.
Right. Now,
Oh.
with to hear my direction, right?
Yes.
I don't want to misdirect the listeners.
Paradise comes with a price.
If you party too much
Yes.
and you lose focus,
Okay.
you might be almost like you're living an illusion.
Okay.
And you're missing the point. You in paradise and you don't need anything. You apart from feeding your well-being as an individual, as a physical,
Yes.
you have to feed your mind. Now we have a few institutions in Saint Lucia, institutions that
Yes.
for higher learning, yeah.
Yes.
And we have the South Police Community College, and we have a few universities,
Okay.
institutions that are affiliated with universities. We have the
Yes.
University of the West Indies,
Mhm.
which is accessible through the Mon Fortune, right? And then we have Monroe College, right? It is an American, I think is American. I don't want to I think it's an American affiliated institution. That is basically what is available. Look in Britain, you have if someone is in Britain and they don't feed the brains, that person, I don't want to say that person is useless. But I'm saying that person is missing the point. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. You have to feed your brains, and that is the purpose for my being here and for my kids to I'm not saying that everything is perfect and everything is their brain is perfect and all that kind of stuff, but then you business first and you party later. I don't know if you because I mean I've lived in Saint Lucia for a number of years. In fact, basically all my life. So, but what to acquire a proper education, it is not something that you can aspire to and being on the ground in Saint Lucia.
Why Britain? You've got Canada.
Well, you see,
You
the
got
laws are different. The laws are different.
Okay.
The laws are different.
What's the official language? French or English?
we have our official language is English, right?
Okay. Yes.
But our mother's language is like a mixture of French and our English.
Okay.
So like a mixture. It's not lean too much on the French. So it's not the French the Magnicans, which are next door to us. They have a French, they have the French, the pure French, and they have the Creole French. So our Creole, right, is a mixture of the French and some of our English words mix up,
Yes.
So that is so we have English, which is our main language, and then we have our Creole, which is our mother's language, for want of better words.
My apologies. What is the meaning of Creole?
Creole is well, it's a folk.
I remember from a childhood. There was the rider without a head, and what was the writer's name?
I don't know exactly who.
And he had another book. He had one book, and he said the Creolean women are the most beautiful in the world. They just
well, you see, it is a name.
Thomas Mind Reed.
It is a word used for most of our indigenous our foods, our things that are indigenous to our country, like our our dances, right?
Okay.
So we have our.
But what is the meaning of Creole?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, it's a folk. It's a
Fork of what?
No, like
Folk.
yeah.
Okay, folk. Okay,
Like
okay.
like
Yes. So and
it's a tradition. It's a tradition.
Okay, and it belongs to Caribbeans. Caribbean.
It doesn't belong to any individual island.
Okay.
Right. It is a traditional word used to identify certain traditions that are indigenous to
Yes.
that particular country. So you find Saint Lucia have the Creole language, they have the Creole food,
Okay.
they have the Creole dances, which
Yes.
is the folk dances.
Yes.
So basically it is like a word that identifies the traditions of a particular community or the country. So
Yes.
you find other countries like Jamaica, you find Martinique, they have their own Creole. They
Their own.
yeah, they have their own Creole. You understand it?
Seriously?
So basically,
No, I don't get it. Sorry, I've got to check it out now.
So whoa, that's a big book.
What's the third new Creole with K?
So, no, it doesn't start with K.
C?
Creole.
Oh, okay.
It starts with a C.
Yes. CRE.
We go into the books now, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we all want to be smart, yes?
Creo.
Yes, Creole. Creole.
Mhm.
Yes. for belonging to the Creole group and culture.
Yeah.
Okay, and people speak Creole born single born in master's house.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that is a
Single slave. God. No, I even don't want to read it. Sorry.
so yeah.
So basically, slaves born in master's houses,
on
in plantations.
Plantations, yeah.
In master's house. If then you're
That's-
Creole, so that is how.
Most
Yes.
basically we were brought to these countries. There were Indians there already, Amerindians there,
Yes.
right? But people of color that are in Saint Lucia and the Caribbean countries, right, were actually brought into the
course,
plantations,
yes.
right? And they were conceived on these plantations. So anything that they do,
Okay.
anything that they stand for as an individual, whether it is the great Toussaint Louverture. So I mean, that's one of he was a French slave, right? He was a slave,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Which revolted against the masters. You understand me? Now, Toussaint Louverture in Haiti, these are people who had a culture.
Yes.
You understand me? And they basically you identify that culture as your Creole language, your Creole food, your Creole dances.
Okay. Yes.
You
Yes.
understand me?
Now I understand. After reading
Yeah.
that definition.
Yeah. So
Yes.
basically, and they from the black community.
Yes.
So they on the plantation. So
And what happened to the original locals?
the original locals, most of them were enslaved.
Enslaved as well.
They were enslaved as well. Those
I
you
have-
mean those
You see, I have some friends from Brazil or Argentina,
that were,
and then when I ask them about Indios, they just look on. They say, "Well, they are not really people."
so
And I'm like, "Whoa!
Yeah.
Hold your horses!" And they're like,
so the
"Come on, Helmut,
Americans
they haven't got passports."
we okay. They were the Caribs and the Arawaks. These
Yes.
are people that were
Okay.
found on the islands when so-called Columbus came into the islands, right?
Yes.
These people revolted. Some of them were tricked into being slaves, but they were not strong enough for the plantations that the so-called masters
And
were. Some of them died.
They didn't have culture
Yeah.
of working from
Yeah,
till
they were,
tonight. Yes.
they were mainly hunters. They were hunters. Some of them were hunters, and some were, traditional people. You understand me?
Yeah.
And they were slowly, and they revolted, but they were driven away from these islands.
So they actually went into their boats and
They went into their
flew away.
boats, and some of them they went up the island chains, and some of them died. Some of them were enslaved and died. You saw that? But then the Negroes were traded into the Caribbean,
Yes.
right? And they were a lot more stronger than what was existing.
Okay. Yes.
So they slowly replaced those that were there. I mean, there were lots of stories to suggest that some of these people were from the coast of Africa and closer to the Ivory Coast there. And these people that were from that part of Africa were not people that were
Which part?
of that coast of Africa, because most of them, based on where they were transported.
Which coast?
The
Where
trade.
is Ghana?
Well, there's the
Which one?
the coast of Africa.
I know coast of, but there are several coasts.
Yeah, not
Where is Sao Tome inside
okay,
there?
you have the western coast.
Yeah, so the western. So you pass the Sao Tome and then these.
I
know Africa quite well. I've got friends there.
So some of them were very, very savvy. Yeah, so I've never been there. I don't want to sound like I've ever been there. I don't know any part of there. Right? So most of them they were not they was very savvy as individuals, and some of them are not. Some of them will question, and they created a hostility. They created a rival against what was a norm to the plantation owners. And because of that, some of them revolted. Some of them, there were stories where some of them, because of their religious background, some of them went back through whatever means. But like
returned back to Africa.
Yeah, I mean they're spiritual because they're highly spiritual people.
Yes. Okay.
And those that were enslaved, were basically stronger than what was existed at the time, so they remain there as so they're products of the plantation. If you understand what I mean, they any kids that were born from these.
You just reminded me. I recently heard this saying that one person was so idealistic and she was like and the other man was like, come on. I will not name the names. Some of our viewers might know it, but and he said to her, come on, we are all children of those who kept silent, obeyed, and obeyed.
Well,
those were the ones that survived.
Those are the ones that basically survive and because they didn't resist.
Latvia has got quite a history of masters as well.
Yeah.
Oh, 800 years under Germans.
Oh, there are masters all around the world. You know what I mean? There are masters all around the world, and there are prison cells with no walls. If you understand what I mean. So.
Oh, that is a deep topic.
That's another
Without
show.
boundaries.
That's another show. So I mean, but what the history that Black people brought to the Caribbean is one that came with a lot of culture.
Yes,
it came with because you have so many countries in Africa, but they were not selective as to where they take this one. I think the trade was just going on, so it doesn't matter where you take who. You understand me? So you find different cultures of people from the African continent inhabited by virtue of them being enslaved. So they brought their culture as well, and the mixture is what we the residue we have there now. But it is not the African culture, the African continent, if I want to put it, to categorize it now, the African continent and the Caribbean, they don't exist in a way that like mother and son or mother. You know what I mean? So it's like it became a situation where Africans don't identify with some of the Caribbean Black people. You know what I mean? So to them, it's like it's a totally different,
And that's understandable.
and that's understandable.
Yes.
Because so although a lot of the folk music, a lot of the traditional drum beating and dances and traditional way, most of them mimic what is existing in some of the African tradition. They have a better understanding, or better, they accept where they come from better than Africa accepting that these are our products. I don't know if you understand me.
I think I do understand you. I hope
so that is, I hope I'm not confusing our listeners, to
Yes. No. So now you're studying law.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
So you came here. How long did it take you to start studying here? Immediately. So you said you came here 2006, but then really settled down.
11,
13.
No. I settled down here maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 27. Settled. But I've been in and out of the country.
So you were coming in, you were working.
Yeah, working.
The visa stops, then you go back.
No, I've never had a visa.
You don't need visa.
I don't need a visa.
No.
I've never needed a visa to be in Britain.
Okay.
British nationals, Saint Lucia nationals. They don't forget. Saint Lucia was a colony of Britain.
Yes.
Right. So there has never been a visa restriction on Saint Lucia.
How much are tickets to Saint Lucia?
It's it costs some money. A ticket, a return ticket, if you're purchasing it up here
for your family.
Ooh. That one is hot.
Oh, you see? And you said no, tickets are nothing.
No,
I've got 4 kids. I know what you mean.
Well, you see, by my travel,
yes,
from Saint Lucia, I had a travel agency, very nice people, which would monitor the flights.
Yes.
In terms of the prices of tickets and stuff like that.
Okay.
And give me very good deals.
So what is the last time you paid for your family?
For
the family.
No,
don't talk about
the family
yourself.
has always been here. The family has always been here.
Are you saying that you leave your family here and go back just by yourself?
Well, at the time I was still working. I was still working.
And
but
your family might want.
Well, the thing about it is my
kids,
my kids were raised here, and the problem with traveling and
it is expensive.
Because it's expensive.
Yes.
And not that alone. Apart from the last child, right, baby, right, the other 2 are premature. They were born premature.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it was not a good decision to have them travel. They were being monitored.
And what about now? What are the ages?
Well, now that I'm arranging something. You're picking my brains. I'm arranging something.
You are in trouble. Your wife might be watching.
I'm arranging something. I'm arranging something. Something is in the making. I like the way you put it.
Okay.
You're putting me on the spot. Yeah.
Now my wife is asking me as well. She said, once this madness is over, the lockdown, we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Stockholm or Austria.
I'm going somewhere when the lockdown is done.
Where are you going?
Saint Lucia.
Saint Lucia.
Yeah.
So what was the last time you paid for the ticket?
Well, the last time I traveled,
yes,
I paid $2,200 Saint Lucian dollars.
Okay, I thought £2,000. I thought, okay,
no.
The boys flying.
If somebody has to pay, if the person has to pay from here, they would pay something in the tune of maybe £650.
£650.
Yeah,
Return for
return
one person.
for one person.
Okay.
So a family would pay, a family of like mine,
Six, yes.
would pay in the region of maybe about £3,000.
£3,000.
About £3,000. But there's no other option, you know. You still have to fly.
No, there is an option
What do you do?
to go just by yourself.
No, I've lost that option.
No. You haven't lost it ever. You just used the last time you had it 3 years ago.
Well, I don't have much of a choice at the moment. Yeah, but I'm contemplating.
Okay.
I'm contemplating. It's not definitive yet. Yeah.
Okay. No, mother says €500. June the 1st. Well, June the 1st, nothing will happen. Lockdown is lockdown. During this lockdown,
yeah,
you can buy tickets, of course, but they'll be just they'll be refunded.
There are other routes, you know. You could go to France, and France to Martinique to Saint Lucia. You don't have to travel straight from here to Saint Lucia. You know? I have loads of routes.
Is it cheaper to go through France?
It's cheaper to go to France. From here to France, if you book early, you might pay anywhere between maybe 80 something euros.
Okay.
Or maybe 60 something pounds.
Okay.
If you book early, and from France,
is it flying or going via train?
No, via train.
You have to go to London or Ashford. Come on, it costs money. Well, because the train doesn't stop in Maidstone. Here is the answer. Ashford International.
Yeah.
Ashford International.
No, hold on.
In Maidstone it doesn't stop.
Hold on.
Hold on, yes.
Yeah. So the
Kingston Station.
So from here you have a train straight to Ashford International.
Kingston, sorry?
So from Maidstone West, you have a train straight to
from Maidstone East.
No.
Yes, from Maidstone East. The nearest one by the park is Maidstone East. The other one other one over the river
I'm
is
talking
Maidstone
about Maidstone West down there.
Really?
Yeah, Maidstone West. You have a train straight down to Ashford International.
Okay. Once an hour train goes from Maidstone East as well.
Yeah, from Maidstone. All the
trains that go from Victoria.
From Maidstone East, you could go to Ashford.
Yes.
Right?
Ashford.
But it don't make sense. From Ashford, you still have to go back down.
And again, those are £20 there, £20 back. Here you go, £40 plus £60 ticket. That's £100. Okay. Well, £100 to France. Then, your route just becomes more and more expensive.
No.
Yes.
You see, from France,
okay,
you could get a ticket, a return ticket to Martinique.
Martinique, okay.
Right, in a tune of 400 to 500 euros.
Okay.
Which is a fraction of 500, 600 pounds.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
And then from Martinique to Lucia,
it's only 100 EC dollars, which is about 27 pounds.
Is it traveling that cheap?
To Saint Lucia, yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, from.
It is quite far away, no? Let us have a look.
It's not.
So here is Saint Lucia, and Martinique is up here.
Yeah, very close. We could stay in the north of the island and hear music in Martinique. Likewise, we could stay in the south of the island and hear music in St. Vincent.
So that's around 20 kilometers, around 10 miles. Yes.
Yeah, about that.
To 10. Okay. So 20 kilometers from. Basically, if you don't have money, you can swim.
It's not one of the best channels, though. It's a difficult channel to swim. It is a difficult. a lot of boats have had difficulties commuting that channel.
Yes.
It's very, very tough. You know, people have lost their lives in that channel. So it's not a very when it does get rough, when the weather is nice.
You've got like 8 or 9 proper storms or tornadoes over a year. Yes, there.
We don't have tornadoes down there. No, we don't. We have storms. We have hurricanes.
Hurricane. Yes.
Yeah, we have
yes.
hurricanes.
Hurricanes. Yes.
Oh,
not tornadoes. Yes. Sorry.
maybe in a year you could get anything between 2 to 3 hurricanes. You know.
Oh, 2, 3. I thought the number
The
was
thing
8 or
about
9.
it is
Okay.
the thing about it is when the hurricanes you have that storm, right?
Okay.
Maybe you have a high gush of wind that's coming through, right? On the Atlantic Ocean, it is still at a the winds become, you know, they're still they're not as very high as if when it gets over the Caribbean Sea.
Yes.
When it gets over the Caribbean Sea, that is where it develops the momentum. So you'd have if you have maybe 10 miles, speeds of 10 miles over the Atlantic Ocean, it will turn to 20 miles on the Caribbean Sea. And then when it gets to the Gulf of Mexico,
I see.
Then it
So
picks up more momentum, right? Because that water in the Caribbean Sea goes, there's a strong current there.
Okay, I see.
And you know, and then now it will go up to North America.
So you are actually on the light
New
side.
Orleans. Yeah, we don't get the bad part of the hurricane. Most times we get the tail of the hurricane because of the position of Saint Lucia. Because when the hurricanes come up, they travel on the Atlantic Ocean in a northeasterly direction, and we mostly get the tail of the hurricane. The eye is never over Saint Lucia. When we are worried is when the eye of the hurricane is over Saint Lucia, then we become worried. But most times when most of the hurricanes that we have devastated the Caribbean, right? We mostly get the tail of the hurricane. The eye is normally over the northern part of the Greater Antilles.
So sometimes.
Well, I mean,
when was the last time you had?
We had
the proper one.
Hurricane Allen.
Yes.
Oh, that was sometime in the 80s.
In 80s.
Yeah, in the 1980s.
How was it?
For a
tiny island like that.
Either in the 80s, or late 70s. I think it was about.
So it is like 15, 20 miles wide. Yes.
I don't have the calculation, but we I know they.
Do you use miles? Do you use miles or kilometers?
Well, we use square miles.
Square miles.
So the entire country is 248 square miles.
So width would be from Maidstone to London. It would be the same.
Maybe about that. So
about that.
Yeah, about Maidstone to London.
And 2.5 times.
Maybe it's not. If it would driving cross country or going across country, it's not as much as
hour and 30 minutes through the country. Yes,
maybe about an hour.
An hour from one point to the other.
Yeah.
And half an hour.
So you look
half an hour.
So Saint Lucia, from my estimation of where Kent is.
Yes.
I would reckon that Saint Lucia is about the
size of Kent.
The size of Kent.
Yeah, it does seem so. Yes.
It's about the size of Kent.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. So the county we live actually at.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 80s there was that huge hurricane.
Yeah, I think it was the late 70s. I think it was um that is
You are a young
80s,
man. When you were born?
74.
74.
Yes.
Okay, 76.
Oh,
Oh, I wish I looked as good as you.
thank you. Thank you. That was a terrible hurricane at the time.
Okay.
It caused a lot of damage in Saint Lucia, and it literally, you see in structures with no tops. The wind was very, very strong,
Okay.
and it flew off the top. We had 90% crop damage.
Okay.
In
The crops,
Saint
of
Lucia.
course.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Because most of our crops
Yes.
are the bananas at the time. That's what we had, right? Most of the bananas went just flat down because the
Banana trees.
they are not annual plants.
Oh.
You understand me? So
And
they
how long does
the
it take?
roots
How long does it take?
maybe about
for
maybe
banana
about
trees?
6 months to get a proper shoot
No.
from a
Sprout.
from a sprout. You maybe about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
Uh,
get a
Wait.
Mhm.
Banana tree grows in 6 months?
Yeah, about that.
No, come on. That's impossible.
Why?
See, I'm not joking.
But it's not.
Seriously.
It's not a. It's not.
6 months.
It's not a. It's
From little sprout,
from a sprout,
a proper tree.
for a proper tree. Yeah.
God,
Because what happened is it
God bless banana trees.
it's
Still just the juice. 6 months.
yeah, not it doesn't take long, and depend on the this well you have different types of different if you want to put species of
Yes,
that banana
of
plant,
course. Yes.
right? That depend on where it is where they nurture it, right? It would take less time to actually give you
Even
we have
this time, that's
we
6
have
months.
we have those
Come on.
those banana trees that they're like dwarfs. They're very, very short, and they would bring up big long bunches, that would literally touch the ground.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
A childhood thing. Look, in Latvia, we
Yeah.
had bananas only once a year.
Okay.
Something before
Okay.
Christmas, they were
Oh,
important.
that was every day
and
for
people will stand. You can't imagine. Soviet Union times, and bananas were brought in, or
Okay.
clementines, or mandarins, or something, and oranges, and people were standing in big and long lines. Really. So, is it possible? I do apologize for my childish
Okay.
question. Is it possible
Yeah.
to live just on bananas?
It is not a plan. You mean when you say leave, you mean
To live just on
to feed?
Yeah, yes, to feed yourself.
Feed
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it because it's high in fiber.
Okay.
Banana is very high in fiber.
Yes.
You can't live on bananas, hold
So,
me.
yeah,
You can't live on
it is
because
just-
you have the plant.
Yes.
You can consume it in both the ripened stage and the green, and yeah you can consume it.
Who wants
Right.
to eat the green?
No, well, you could boil it. You could cook
Really?
it in
You
could
boil,
get it-
do you boil them? So
you could take green
haven't got a clue.
bananas.
I know only yellow bananas.
Well, I know. So you could take green bananas, right? And you can actually cook it in a pot, and it is very high in fiber. It's very good for your family.
So I can go to the Tesco's tonight,
This
buy green bananas.
you don't have green bananas there.
Well, sometimes they come in green.
Well, the green bananas you get there, it's already
is-
getting ready to ripe.
Okay, so that is a different species. Those are
It's
different species.
it's the same bananas,
Yeah, the
but
same.
but
Yes.
you're looking at imported bananas.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Oh, have some. Yeah. Yes.
Imported bananas,
Yes.
right? And from cultivation of bananas, from the time you cultivate that banana and you separate it from the from the crown on the
Okay.
on the
Yes.
bunch, from the time you sever that crown, that banana is getting ready to ripe, because banana itself, the skin of the banana produces a gas, like
Okay.
in the way it is packaged, it creates something pretty much like a gas that enables the fruit itself to start ripening. So by the time this
The more you
plant,
talk, the more I love Saint Lucia. Seriously.
so you could take bananas, just leave it there, right,
Yes.
and it will start ripening, right. It doesn't need a sophisticated procedure to have it in the ripening stage. But what I'm saying is, from the fields to being inside of Tesco's or inside of Marks and Spencer's or Sainsbury's, the time that it has taken to get to that point, that is the cure. That is the amount of time that bananas would I would imagine take to start ripening,
Okay.
because it's a difficult fruit to
Yes.
to peel and start. And you could take any of these bananas that you get at Tesco's and
Yes.
start peeling it and eating it. Now in you cannot boil that. If you boil that one, it will just turn to something like
Have you tried
smudgy in your
No?
it was that.
Have you tried them?
No,
Have you tried
to
boiling
boil it.
them?
No,
The green one,
no.
no?
No, this thing.
But if I don't have money,
Yeah.
I start living hippie lifestyle
It's
in Saint Lucia. I buy this little plot of land.
You can
I
live
just-
on bananas.
I can live on bananas.
Yeah, you can live.
Free love and bananas.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh my god.
And the thing about it is,
Yes.
it's not a plant. It's not a plant that needs a lot of attention.
Mhm.
So and it's not the type of crop that
Yes.
after it always has
Okay.
a sprout.
And what about the snakes? Do they like banana trees?
The packaging, the back of
Yes.
of the banana plant and the leaves, when they dry,
Yes.
they have the dry form of that leaf,
Yes.
right? It keeps a crackling sound,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know, and I don't know what about that crackling sound that attracts the
Snake.
reptile,
Okay.
whether
Yes,
it is the snake or whether it is other species that.
Okay.
But there's something about the leaves, I think, or whether it is warmth or something, but
Yes.
it's very comforting for
and
them.
So the snakes actually go up the banana tree and
So
live in.
they wouldn't be in the banana plants, because to maintain that banana plant, you'd have to use pesticides or
Yes,
weedicides or whatever,
yes.
and they would shy away.
Mhm.
What would happen is, if
There are wild
if
banana
they
trees, then
if you the wild, or if you have your whatever your package
Yes.
whatever you package in an abundant building that is in the middle of a plot. I mean, you would not use weedicide inside of your abundant shed, something. So then the snakes they wouldn't remain in the fields. They would come to that safe haven, if you understand what I mean, because they wouldn't be you wouldn't be using your pesticides and weedicides inside. So they would, and people would go different places that maybe with no bananas or something, and maybe they would have the bags or bucket or something, and that, tiny as it is, it may crawl inside of there
yes.
and remain there. and maybe absentmindedly you go to your hut and you bring it across with you.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it's an animal that can travel, and remain
Okay.
in very strange places.
And what about spiders?
Oh, spiders! Oh,
No, don't smile.
You have spiders spiders everywhere. We have spiders here in this country.
So
They,
more than here, or
yeah, we have spiders.
you should go to Ireland.
We have spiders in the houses.
Oh my God!
We have spiders on the televisions.
No, have you been in Ireland?
No, I haven't been.
That's horrible.
I've never been.
Spiders in Ireland. Really, they haven't got snakes. They've got this belief that when Saint Patrick came, he made all snakes to go away. Oh, that's the thing.
Snakes. There are snakes everywhere.
Not in Ireland. Not in Ireland. Seriously.
Well, that's debatable.
And what about the parrots? Do they eat snakes? You got lots of parrots.
The parrots don't. They
You see,
they
for
feed
me, these are exotic birds and exotic animals and the exotic things you are talking about.
Yeah.
And the last time I remember parrots.
They don't feed on snakes. No, they don't feed on snakes. They don't feed on snakes. These birds.
They're lazy.
Well,
They are lazy.
no.
They should be fired from their
No,
nest.
during my time as a forester,
Yes,
right, forest and lands
they can be
department,
trained.
I had the opportunity to go parrot counting with the forest and lands department.
Yes.
We were doing bird counting.
Counting.
So
yes.
so basically, we had to climb this tall tree,
Okay.
you see, and then stay at certain viewpoints, and we were counting. I don't know how they do the maths.
Seriously. So
Yeah, we
your
were
job
counting-
was counting.
No. At the time,
Yes.
we were doing a parrot count, and the entire department was involved. I know, right? The entire department had to do parrot counting. So it wasn't because you just come into the department or something like that.
Maybe
The chief of the forest and land department was part of the parrot count as well. Yeah, we were.
So Chief was sitting with his friends, maybe
No, we were doing
enjoying
that.
some wine, and they were
We-
talking. How many parrots do we have?
we
And
were-
the Chief said, "Don't worry, Fred, or
You
don't worry,
see-
Baptiste. I will have the answer in the end of the week. Boys, get ready."
you see, other countries like other countries would
My apologies. Just
would
that's beautiful.
do a study on
Yes.
the animals, like Africa. They would do a study on the animals and they would tag them.
Okay.
We don't, which I find is animal cruelty. That's debatable. But-
Nothing is debatable. No, about animal cruelty, nothing is debatable.
So they would tag them. They
Apart
would-
from snakes.
Yeah, they would. Yeah. But in Saint Lucia, we don't tag our wildlife.
Yes. You don't
Right?
tag.
We don't
Okay.
tag our wildlife to study. We
That's
have
actually good.
we have a research department which is headed by at the moment it's headed by a gentleman, very good, very
Yeah.
impressive guy, Adam Sousa.
That's
No,
very
I'm
good.
just telling you his name,
I love birds. I
and
seriously.
he's doing incredible work.
My camera, 100mm camera. I've got some lenses. I do photography, books of birds, and
Oh, we have some pretty birds down there. Our national bird, we call it the Amazona versicolor.
Amazon of Sicola.
Amazona versicolor.
Oh, let us see. Where is my mouse? Amazona
Versicolor. VER.
Versicolor. Okay, let us see. Who wants to see? Send Amazon versicle. And images. This one.
Yeah. Apart from that bird, we have a few other birds, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
And did you have to count these birds?
Yeah, we keep a tab on visible tab on them.
It is even called Saint Lucia parrot.
Yes, it's indigenous to.
Oh, beautiful.
And we have one at the museum in the north of the island, and it talks.
It talks.
Yeah, it does.
English, French.
Yeah, English. when you come to the Forest and Lands head office,
Yes,
which is in Union in the north of the island, it says hello.
Hello.
Hello. When you go in, but I mean, you need to. You wouldn't realize that it does that, but when you leave, it says bye.
Bye.
It does. It's a very nice bird. It's up there. We have one of them there. But yeah.
And now the plan. Your plan is so you study law.
Yeah, I do.
So you took a bachelor's degree.
I'm doing a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. Okay. Which year are you in?
I'm on the basically. It started.
How long is the course?
Well, mine is a 4-year because it has a foundation.
Okay.
A year foundation, which is attached to it. So basically, I'm on the if you want to call it the first year.
Yes.
Because I started it last year, right? So I did the foundation last year, and I did this year. This year is my first year, basically. So I'm 2 years into the 4 years program. Yeah.
Okay. And after that, you will have your bachelor's degree, and you'll be looking for barrister's practice.
Yes, I'll be. Well, you have to do the
So
LPC. The LPC. You have to do lawyers practicing course, and
practicing course.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to. Basically, you have to do that. It's one of the prerequisites to becoming a solicitor or a barrister in this country, and in joining the bar association in Saint Lucia as well. You have to do that LPC.
How long is it?
It's only a year's course. But
you have to study it, or you have to practice. Is it practice?
You have to study it.
We have to study.
Yeah, you have to study it for a year.
2 more years studying.
Yeah.
In
Anglia-Ruskin
University. 2 more years, then 1 year of practice.
And 1 year of practice. Yeah.
Course, and that's it.
And then you could you make an application to join a bar association, whether it is here or whether it is in Saint Lucia.
And what is your plan?
My plans are joining the bar association in Saint Lucia, and if I'm allowed to practice in this country, so be it. But it is my intention to become a barrister in Saint Lucia. And maybe have my kids to follow suit.
Sorry, your kids too?
Yeah, have my kids when they grow up to become barristers as well. Yeah.
So 3 more years, you finish studying.
Yeah.
Then applying, doing some work here, some practice here.
Yeah.
Again, you want to have some practice.
Yeah, some practice.
And then in 5 years' time, basically, you are going back to Saint Lucia.
Well, I will not be permanent back in Saint Lucia. I will be practicing in Saint Lucia. But
Now I have a question. As a married
One
man
second.
to a married man.
One
No,
second.
no, 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 no. As a married man to a married man, how do you explain to your wife, a mother of 4 children of yours, that, hey, honey, in 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna work in Saint Lucia.
Communication.
Not full time, honey. No, no, no.
Communication.
Communication.
Yeah. Before you actually make up a decision, you have to sit down and have a proper communication with your other half.
Okay. But are you prepared to live there?
Well, I'm not. I'm not going to.
Isn't that easier to move over with your wife?
I'm not going.
And
The thing
kids?
about it. The thing about it is the kids. The kids have to get the necessary education.
So
Because even
educational basis here in Britain is much better.
Yeah, and because even if I take them to Saint Lucia, right, I would still have to bring them back in the UK to have to further the education. So it's something that I want them to decide.
Okay.
You understand me? So I'm going to set the foundation, but I'm going to leave that part for the kids to decide, because you take them somewhere and they're not happy. You understand me? So when they get to a normal understanding, maybe I'll take them on a few trips, come see the paradise where you're from, and then if they like it, then it's something that can be considered.
How old are the kids?
The oldest one, she's 24 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and the others are from 6 down to 2.
6 down to 2. And 5th on the way?
Shop is closed. Yeah, shop is closed. No more.
Never send them.
Huh.
Now you need a drink.
Well, I need a drink now.
It has been 2 hours already.
Is it?
Isn't that beautiful? For such an awesome communication. The time flies as... You didn't worry when you came here, no?
No. I didn't worry, and I...
Yes.
And
We've known each other for so long.
And I didn't prepare. Maybe I would be much better informed, to make the audience more enlightened as to what is actually incident. But what I can tell you as an audience,
yes,
right, is if you are looking for a country to vacation in the Caribbean, I would highly recommend Saint Lucia. It's not because I'm a Saint Lucian, right? The commute is easy.
How many rooms does your family house has?
It has 4 rooms.
Can it accommodate my family?
Of course it can.
I'm serious.
There's only one person in the house.
Yes. When you are going to Saint Lucia, if we pre-plan.
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe. I'm just saying maybe.
It can be arranged.
It is. But if there is a place to stay,
it can be arranged.
Let us do that.
Yeah, it can be arranged. Because between the 2 houses, right? Between the 2 houses, only one person.
That would be amazing.
There's only one person lives in the 2 houses, and they're next to each other.
But you should be there as well.
Of course, I will be there. My family will be there as well, and even when
the next live with you will be from Saint Lucia.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Keep dreaming. Yes. Close your eyes when you dream.
We want the next live to be in the rainforest.
In the rainforest.
Why not the rainforest? He's terrified of the snakes.
hate snakes.
No, I won't put you for such danger. You're a well-esteemed friend of mine. I won't put you for such danger.
So what would you say to our viewers, Latvians and others, everybody?
To our polite guests.
Yes.
Well, I could say that it was a pleasure having been here with Mr. Helmut, right?
Thank you, Gittens.
And it's a time well spent. It was a time of reflection, basically, as to what, unless you've lived outside of your shell, you will not understand what you were or had inside of your shell. Saint Lucia basically has been a shell for me for a number of years, and Britain teaches me how to live outside of my shell, and I must say it's an experience. It's not time wasted.
Yes.
It is a time for reflection, a time for an appreciation of what you were accustomed to, and what you now have to, I wouldn't say succumb to, but adapt. Excuse me. I've kind of hay fever. So, but if you're looking for a destination that is going to give you 150% hospitable people, and a communities that are welcoming, good food. The food is
That's
the
it.
best.
Stop, Gittens.
It's the best. I'm talking about it, and I'm feeling for Caribbean food. It's the best Caribbean food it's the best island. It's best food in the Caribbean. Yeah, and the roads are one of the best in the Caribbean.
Yes.
The commutes are not difficult, right? And you have the wildlife, you have the fresh breeze, you have the social activities, you have the everything to make an individual feel at home.
When is the best time of year to go there? October? November?
Every time.
Come on.
The only time I wouldn't. You can.
Yes. When is the summer? Proper summer. There.
Okay, we have.
Not the winter.
No. We don't have 4 seasons. We only have 2 seasons.
No, but your winter is like plus 25 or something.
We're talking about June, July. You have heat around June, July, and depending on how after the hurricane season, you're talking about October, November, December. No, September, October, November.
Hurricane season.
Yeah, around that time
January is good.
We have seen bad weather in January.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
We have seen there isn't a fix.
April,
but I would say around June, July.
yes.
That is a peak time to be in Saint Lucia, or around the Christmas season. If you travel to Saint Lucia around the Christmas season, right, and you're in Saint Lucia in the Christmas season, everything in Saint Lucia belongs to you. That is how hospitable they are. People will be cooking, people will be preparing stuff. You pass, you stop, you have a drink at this person. We don't look at the individuals. We feed them. We give them drinks, make them feel hospitable, make them feel at home. It's a very nice country. I mean, every country have different areas
Okay.
that you that you will not want to be in. There's something new because you have areas that are not, that have a certain level of characters that you would not want to hang out with.
No, don't worry.
But most but by and large, most of the country is an area that people can actually inhabit.
Yes.
And vacation.
Yes.
And don't worry about the prices. Although we need to worry about some of the prices of the hotels and stuff like that. If you have to worry about the prices of the hotel, they're not any different to the other Caribbean countries. I mean, you're looking at the demand on the island. So as the demand rises, prices rises.
Okay.
You understand me? So people are making demands of the island. The hotels are fully booked. And you hotels are fully booked. So people are actually coming into the country from all walks of the world. So you find people are literally bidding for the places in these hotels. But there are people who have mini hotels. There are people who have their websites that do Airbnb.
Yes, Airbnb.
Yeah. So it's worth looking, right? And like you look in any.
Have you got some friends who do Airbnb?
Yes, I do have friends. I do have friends
who offer their houses for Airbnb or something.
Yes, I have one friend actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one friend.
Very good.
He's on my Facebook, as well.
Okay.
And he does Airbnb for property that he owns back home.
Casper, if you are watching,
Saffras. His name is Saffras. Yeah, Saffras. Yeah, and he, so don't worry about the prices too much. It's worth the price to be in Saint Lucia. I can tell you, if you will not regret your money. Whether you're spending a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month, you will not regret your stay in Saint Lucia.
And what would you say to your childhood friends or maybe some relatives who might be watching now you or the over 2 hours?
My childhood friends.
Either on YouTube or Facebook.
Well, what I can tell my childhood friends is the place, if you want to further your education and you want to be a better individual, whether it is for your family or for your community on the whole, I think it's, apart from feeding yourself as feeding your physical body, you need to feed the mind as well.
Yes.
And you need to be in a country where you can feed your mind, get a higher learning, get yourself into some faculty, get something going, and be a good example to the other generations coming, that they can follow suit, and not just remain on the sofas, and hoping that one day somebody will pick them up and bring them to an institution. You have to make the move. It took me some time to understand that, but I mean, I took that route and I've not regretted it, not one bit. Right?
And to your relatives?
To my relatives.
Now come closer. Let your relatives see you.
To my relatives.
Say hello.
Hello to everyone. Most of my relatives are well, my siblings. My siblings are basically not in one spot. I have siblings in Martinique and in America and in St. Croix, which is another Caribbean island, and two of them in Saint Lucia. And to my extended family, I would like to thank them for all the support and the time that they invested in me as an individual and listen to my stupid jokes. Listen to my my counseling, some of them, and just putting up with me as an individual and as a police officer, as a family man, as a father, as a brother, as a cousin, as a as a relation, as a on the whole, and as a designer as well. I mean, I've done
Architect.
extensive architectural, designer. As an architectural designer, I've done extensive work, designing homes for persons, you know, almost call it like a charitable, something to give back to the community, showing, exhibiting some of my artistic skills as an individual and making the community, designing the landscape of Saint Lucia, by and large my community that I'm from, the village of Miku and Saint Lucia on the whole, mostly the village of Miku and other surrounding areas,
But especially the
especially
village of
the
Miku.
village of Miku. One love. One love.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Helmut,
Oh,
for
thank
having
you.
me as your guest.
Gittens.
It is
Such
always a pleasure. Every time I see you,
Always a
I
pleasure
wonder
meeting
what
too.
you do to keep yourself so young.
I just see you.
You need to give me that that recipe
Thank you.
recipe to keeping myself very young. I want
Oh, come on,
I want
you're
to grow
awesome.
I want to grow old like you. At a commercial note.
Thank you all, and
Thank you very much.
have a great weekend. Or if you are watching a replay, just enjoy the life. Be happy. Life is beautiful,
Thank you very
colorful, and absolutely amazing. Invest in yourself, like Gittens said, and respect your history and make the human race better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.